Hello everyone, we're in the middle of a very wet qualifying. I've invalidated so I can start at the back, but it's a difficult one. I've actually loaded up an Austria setup, not a Silverstone setup, so this is very weird feeling. It's also a dry Austria setup, so I'm all over the place. But we're going to complete the lap and see what we can do. It's very loose, as you can tell, but this is the F1 game for you. It's all very swingy at the rear, that's for sure. Well, there you go, there's the lap. Just about. Managed to get there in the end. Alright, we've got a few people in the lobby, which is good to see. What Igor and the Bill. It was looking a little bit sparse at the beginning. For sure, but we got a few more people that joined last second. I don't know if they've stayed in or not, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. We got a few people. We got a few people for a decent race. We've got Rare Winter in as well, which is good to see. So hopefully we can have a very good evening. Right, I need to make sure that I apply a new setup, because having an Austria setup around Silverstone, it's not terrible, but it's really not fun. I would much prefer a bit more wing, ideally. Is it a bit more wing or a bit less wing? Anyway, I know that it's not right. It didn't feel right. The rear wing is a little bit too low for my preference. Right. Let's have a go. Silverstone. It is an old time trial one. It is very old. It's not actually that far away, to be fair. Is Austria to Silverstone setup. Let's do that. Hope that it's good. Good luck, everyone. Here we go. British Grand Prix is on the way. At the start. Managed to get the move on the Bill off the line after leave for space on the inside, and we still managed to get taken out. I do wonder if that was a 3 wide moment that we maybe weren't aware of. Oh well. We'll try and catch up to all the other cars there. Not too far away. That was horrible. I'd rather have an incident at the start than at the end. Neville unfortunately had an issue at turn 3. Turn 4 that was, actually. Trying to remember the line here, but I'm not doing a very good job of it. Right. Focus, George. Focus. I had this same issue last time we did Silverstone, and I just kept on losing the car. It wasn't even last time we did Silverstone, it was just doing some laps randomly. I wasn't even streaming. I just made a Silverstone setup and had that issue at the exact same corner. Come around the left-hander and then lose the car. Always hit that
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled.
Doing our absolute best here to try and catch up. Don't think we got DRS, but we do catch up, so I'm going to be cautious. Managed to get DRS, but probably on auto DRS, unfortunately. Actually, no, I don't think auto No, auto ERS is allowed. Sorry, mate. I really wasn't expecting you to be that slow through the corner. Keep up the good work, though. They're keeping it on track, at least. I say that, they just sent it on the inside of cops. They're giving it a good shot. I'm not doing too bad. I'm doing worse than they are, I promise you that. It may not look like it, but for the amount of time that I've put into the game, I should not be this low. We continue. Whoa, I've completely missed that. I was looking at chat. I see a message. I'll respond to it when I can. I'm just in the middle of driving terribly at the moment, so you have to give me a moment or two. Didn't get DRS of the cars ahead. Slightly frustrating. The seats still. There are still seats, very much so. So head to the links below, you'll be able to find our website where you can get a registration form to race in the league. If that's what you're asking. If you haven't asked for that, then I've read that completely wrong and I do apologise. That is lag and a half. I'm going to assume we're good to go. Oh my days. I'm trying to read chat and I just can't see it. I'm swerving all over the place. I forgot to move my monitor, I'll be honest. Yeah, there'll be a link to the website, but also, whoa, on the registration form, you'll be able to find the Discord. If you're not sure whether you're racing F1 or F1.5, just join the HQ server first. And then we'll get you sorted for later on. I don't think I'll be able to catch the other cars ahead. And unfortunately, this might be the best I can do right now. Oh. Is that a retired car? I don't know. One of the McLarens. Whoop. That wasn't ideal. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to catch the cars ahead. I might be able to get within their time penalty range. It would be a hell of an effort unless I drive like that. Currently Igor is clear of the field. We'll just do a bit of a lift. Turn the car into the corner. Move off the racing line to avoid the bumps in this game. And then go back to the outside as they go into the corner. Light braking, shift down 2 gears. Back on the throttle. Braking at the curb. Don't hit the sausage curb, which I just did, and I've ruined my run through the last few corners. Don't hit that inside bit as well because it bumps the car. No, we stay centre. We've got Rare Winter up ahead. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to catch the pack. Rare Winter is too fast for me. But the cars ahead are fighting, which is a benefit, but to be able to be within time penalty range is foolish. I'm trying my best to it. And then I'll read the chat in a few moments' time. I do apologise, but my monitor's way too far away to be able to see it. We've only got part of a lap left. 4.9 seconds. We've given it a good effort. Whoa! Almost ended it all. And I've just completely forgotten where to brake. It doesn't matter, we completed the race, we weren't going to change our position in the end. But GG, we'll take it. We won't take that as a position, but I guess we will, because it is what it is. The points have been given. Alright. Let's do this. Alright, we're back. Is there a race tomorrow? F1, there's a race at Austria. With F1.5, it will be on Saturday. So, depending on your pace, you will be placed in F1 or F1.5. The quickest will be in F1, which will be tomorrow at 20 BST or 21 CEST, which is European time, basically, mostly European time. I think if you're in a country like Finland, I think it's 10 PM, I believe. And then, yeah, F1.5 is the same time, so 20 BST, 21 CEST, and that is on Saturday, where it's got the developing drivers looking to try and get to F1 and develop their skills, of course. But yeah, Friday is the fastest. There are, for both tiers, minimum benchmark times, which you've got to try and reach. It's not easy, but they are there for a reason, because if you don't reach the minimum benchmark time, then you're going to have a very hard time in that tier. Even the minimum benchmark times are... have I reconnected? I don't know how much you heard right there. I just explained everything and then I realised it was disconnected. I do apologise. I'm just going to quickly jump in a different car. And then what I'll do is quickly have a look and see what was actually heard. Because I'm not entirely sure what was just said. Yeah, so there are minimum pace benchmarks which you do have to meet, but as I said, don't be afraid of that. Just give it a shot and see what you can do. Right. Yeah, I did disconnect. Yeah, so that's a note. I'll try and explain it again if I just close that back down. Yeah, there are minimum benchmark times. As I said, it's not easy, but if you give it a shot, and it will be good to go. I'm just going to quickly that. Nice. You've just joined the Discord, I assume. That's you who I messaged on Discord a few moments ago. I'll just talk to you through the live stream. Good to see you first of all. You got good pace, nice one. Waiting room wise, we'll sort that out later after the live stream. We'll make sure you get access. Just fill in the registration form on the website. If you can't find it, then I can send you a link, and give it a good shot. I don't know what your lap time is around Spain, but there is a minimum benchmark time around there. So if you can fit that, then that'd be good. I need to try and make a setup here very, very quickly, which is going to be difficult. I'm going to attempt that. I'm going to attempt that. Actually, that. And then we're just going to pray, to be fair. I think we're just going to run it. Let's see what we can do. We're in the Williams. I believe you said that you make videos on the races. First of all, I just want to clarify, I'm not usually this bad. I'm still trying to learn no line. I've been trying to learn it for a long, long time now. And I'm not the best. I get that. But I'm not the best with line either, but I'm better than I am right now. I can tell you that. I need to invalidate somewhere so I can start on the back. That's what I want to do. Whoa, I completely understood that. And I've ridden the curb, which I didn't want to do. I've not invalidated. Invalidate here. Quite straightforward. We tried. Mindpix, what lap time have you done around Spain, do you know? I don't know if you know off by heart. But yeah, of course, if you live stream and record your races, it's absolutely fine. I appreciate that. That's what you want to do, which is it's good to see. Good to see people get involved in that. All right. Give me a second. I'm just gonna do this. There you go. Right, so my chat actually froze because I didn't see that. My bad, yes please. Get lap times. Cool. John, how are you? Good to speak to you. Should you get it? It's an interesting one. So what I've explained to people who want to buy the game is if you want to get it, you got to spend, let's say, 8 hours, 10 hours learning it. If you spend 2 hours and you get frustrated and give up, you're not going to want to play it. You might as well just not bother. I do believe that you should wait for a sale. I don't think you should buy it at full price. If it's on sale right now, then maybe you should give it a consideration. It's better than it was to start with, definitely. And once you get used to it, you feel like it's fine. So it is all good. But yeah, we'll see. Right, here we go. Oh, this is gonna be, that's very interesting. We've managed to make it and somehow didn't get a warning. I'm not that tight. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. I'm getting sent left, right and centre. Oh man. Oi. I've just been absolutely chiseled. I'm so sorry to that car. Basically forced into the back of them. I'm not using... What are you doing? Ugh. I need to watch out for that now. Very silly of me not watching out for it before. I'm just gonna send it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got cars behind me. I needed to just go for it. It was very dirty of me, but I've done it now.
Okay, clear.
I'll try and read the
Caution,
chat in a
caution.
second. Whoa. Car behind me that's keeping up quite nicely. Mine picks do read that right? A 1:15 around Spain, Barcelona. 1:15 seconds. So the benchmark is to get a 1:11 around Spain if you want to race an F1 tomorrow. I believe the benchmark for F1.5 will be around a 1:13, a 1:14 maybe, but I think a 1:13. I'll have to double check after this race. So it's definitely possible. You give it a shot. Also with F1 tomorrow, it is racing line only, no other assist. ERS assist is enabled just for the sake of trying to prevent a possible ERS bug that people can suffer from if they're not careful. Oh, all over the place here. But if you need help, I definitely can give you some advice if you're looking for it. If I can see a recording of you driving, that helps even more so. You mentioned Assetto Corsa, what, the second one, is that right? I'm trying to read it my absolute best, but I'm also trying to get ahead here. I don't really have any ERS to use, which is slightly frustrating. I'm gonna have to have some space. They do have the energy. They're going to the outside line, which is what I wanted them to do. Don't reset to track in a league race, by the way. This is a 5-lap lobby, so that's why I do it. You don't have much time to gain positions, so... What is... What? Why are they doing that? Just a failed switchback maneuver right there. I'm failing miserably, in fairness, in my driving. I can get the Sauber hopefully on time penalties, but I say that as I cut the corner. Some I didn't get a warning. Unfortunately, it does mean that a P2 will be off the cards. It was looking like a pretty good race up until that point. We're making a nice recovery. Fourth gear need to be in third there. Or right. We'll try and stay within time penalty range here. I think we've done it. Just about. I believe Jean's left, so unfortunately I won't be able to answer any of their questions, but if they were to join back, it's because of course Evo is coming out, and I'm also interested in getting iRacing again as my subscription expired. Not that many people to play with. So, yeah, that's fair enough. Assetto Corsa Evo does look good. I'm not sure if it's going to be fully focused on a sim or if it's going to be more of an open world game. I mean, it should have racing regardless because that's what's shown, but it also looks like it's got some other features which is going to be interesting. I think for me, I'm going to have to look out for trailers in the future. iRacing is good. I've got it. It's sweaty. But yeah, F1 is good. If you like F1, it's gonna be good. You know, if you're a big fan, you got to give it a shot. The game isn't like it used to be in previous years, but if you're willing to put the time in and just kind of accept it for what it is and just try and get the best out of the car that you've got and that you've been given, then you can do well and you can have a good time. I think there's a lot of people that try and drive the F1 game expecting that it's going to be like a proper simulation of a Formula 1 car, and the fact is it just never will be. So people have got to stop looking at it that way. The handling hasn't been the greatest, but like I said, once you get used to it, it is okay. It is annoying that you have to really focus on it is annoying that you have to downshift to slow the car down more than you do have to put the brake on, which is really annoying. Because it's very unrealistic. And when I then went into iRacing and ACC after playing F1, I'm kind of like, I'm not braking as much as I should be, and I'm just downshifting. It actually was an eye-opener of how much I actually need to brake, because I could realise that I didn't need to brake as much as I was in previous times. So it kind of made me less scared to brake really late into corners, and not even brake late. It's more like I'm braking at the same point, but I'm bleeding off the brakes more and earlier, which changes things a lot, which makes things quite good. So you know, it actually did kind of help me personally, which was great. But yeah, it's an interesting one that people can only really make a decision with themselves. So what I recommend is that you get it on Steam, and you give it a try. Change settings before you drive the game and make sure that you get a setup on. Don't go into the game with default settings and then play on a default setup. You're just going to have a horrid time. You might as well just try and put yourself in a situation that you would if you were going to do a league race and then drive it there. And also wait for a sale. That's when you want to buy it. So yeah, it's difficult. I remember some games were just not as fun as an arcade should be. Bugs, not some penalties. Yeah. I mean, the bugs are still there. They're not actually as bad as they were in previous games. There is a really annoying one, which is where if you get disconnected from a lobby, there's like a 50-50 chance that your AI will just retire the car. It's really annoying because then there's not really anything we can do about it. It just is what it is. We can't restart a lobby of 15 people because one car has disconnected and the game's retired them. It's really unfair, but it's just one of them things that happens. It is a really annoying bug. That's the biggest one I can really think of. There is an annoying factor where even though it's by thousandths of a second, there is still a little bit of a performance gap between multiple cars. Of course, in certain league racing levels, it doesn't really make a difference. When you get to the top esport level, though, with F1 esports, the official stuff like that, then it does make a difference, and it can be quite frustrating. I'm loading into Canada here, which I need to just quickly get a setup on, so sorry to go a bit sidetracked of what's going on. Let's do that. Let's do that. This is a very interesting circuit for sure. I'm gonna do that actually. I might go to 54 rate 5. Teaming up with Mr. LSI, this would be good. Lovely stuff. Oh. Also, John, that is a bug right there. Right, so I just put my brake bias to 53, and because I pressed my binded button to change the brake bias directly, it glitches down to 50. Now, obviously I'm driving on 50 right now, but that's just because I'm a giga chad. And you should actually be driving on like 54 around this circuit, maybe 53, I'm not sure, but you can ride 50 in some corners, which is why it is what it is in time trial. But like this corner here, you're never going to get away with 50 brake bias, which is a good thing about this game and the last game. They did bring back the kind of brake bias dynamic, so you did actually have to play around with that. You can get performance out of it and you can go for a slightly different driving style. I'm personally someone that usually goes with low brake bias and gets a lot of rotation under braking. I don't know where I'm going around this circuit with no line. Whereas other drivers I know that are much faster than me, to be honest, I accidentally qualified for it. They can they use higher brake bias. There are benefits and disadvantages with throttle and stuff like that and stability, so there's nothing to say that it's right and wrong. Nonsense penalties still exist. I think it will exist regardless. It's always going to exist. It exists in other games as well. It's just glitchy and stuff, and especially with cross-platform, then you get different platforms having different kind of physics models. There is such thing with the FPS that if you go on a lower FPS, the car the game refreshes less, and then you don't get a full effect that if you were to ride over a curb. So you might not bottom out if you're on 60 FPS compared to 120, and because it's console, and console generally have lower FPS than a PC, or at least the capability to, if you don't run 60 FPS, you can be at a disadvantage compared to others. That does mean that I personally am on 60 FPS. I know a lot of other people are. I know a lot of people refuse to do that because they don't want to have to endure 60 FPS. But I am. It does also help with a bit of performance, of course, if you're on low FPS. Your PC doesn't go through the roof, which is all good. But yeah, I think if you can find it on a decent sale, maybe if there's a winter sale, I don't know. But I think it could definitely be worth it. Honestly, the thrill of league racing is great. That is definitely going to be a factor. iRacing, I haven't done enough to really give a proper opinion on, so it's difficult. I have enjoyed the stuff that I've done, which is great. I have noticed that the blue flag rules in iRacing and F1 is very, very different, and it can be very frustrating because people don't necessarily get out your way. Say if you're on a qualifying lap or in a race and you're coming up to lapped cars, which is annoying, but obviously that will change if you go into higher categories, because then you don't get the less safe drivers, whereas I'm new to the game, so I'm only in, I don't know, D class, I think. I don't think I went to C class. I'm only on D class for safety, because I am so new. The one below that is rookie. I'm just waiting for the other cars. I think I'm just... What on earth is going on there? They're stuck in neutral, or first gear. I don't know what's going on. I just waited for that guy. Anyway, we continue.
Yellow flag.
I want to try and see if I can do some overtakes. That's why I do this. I always miss the breaking point of that corner these days. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, the thrill of league racing and F1 esports, and just in the F1 game, it's definitely unmatched in my opinion. I think other games can be a lot more immersive, definitely, but the potential to go global with F1 and the F1 games is so much more. It's obviously a shame that that comes with a arcade game being the centre of that, but it's F1. F1 is always going to be the top of the list, it is what it is.
Okay, DRS
Although
is now
iRacing and
available.
driving the cars is phenomenal. It is a really enjoyable experience. There's a lot of learning to do in that game. I mean, you say you've already tested it, so I'm not really going to give you any more lectures on it, to be honest. But I just, from experience, I have noticed that the blue flag thing is very frustrating. Someone that's come from an F1 game, people don't really have the courtesy to just get out of the way. They just kind of, oh, and I've just taken them out. My bad, I'm not going to take advantage, I'm just going to sit behind you, I'm sorry. Oh, not if you're going to break that early, mate. Anyway, we continue. Oh, I can't catch him. I can't hold him. I'm gonna just take that warning and try and get the move done. We've got the DRS. We'll try and swoop through.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
There you go. Right, hold on a minute. Oh, I've missed that corner. Yeah, but a set of course Evo looks exciting. I do wonder about the price. Is it going to be an astronomical value? Also, Jamie Broadbent was wondering about the modding, because obviously currently the modding... Oh, that's another one, I need to not do that again. Currently the modding community basically keep the current game alive. There's a small amount of modding in ACC with like liveries, but that's about it, I think. But it definitely could be very good. And if it's also on consoles, then it'll be great. I hope it has open wheel racing. If it doesn't have open wheel racing, then it closes off a lot of audience. But just because I think the sheer look of the cars get people excited, I think that's kind of, as a young kid, that's probably one thing that excited me. It's just open wheel, you know, they just look cool, don't they? So I think if they don't have open wheel in Assetto Corsa Evo, it may not be as good as other sims, but still it should be in the game if you want to maximize the audience. But it wasn't really shown massively. It was shown a little bit actually, wasn't it? There were some F1 cars in the trailer on the shelf, but there weren't actually any F1 cars being driven by anyone. So maybe we don't need to worry. Definitely get it and hope for some leagues to be there. You know what? I think if we go into a league in a different game, that's where we'll be going. I'm going to be honest with you. Assetto Corsa, I want to do endurance. And I'm thinking about maybe doing that once a month. I was looking at it yesterday and seeing and trying to weigh up the costs and see if we can sustain that. I think we can, but at the same time, if we're going to do that with endurance on ACC, what about iRacing, you know? That could be possible. I think we can definitely sustain one of the two. I'm not sure if we can sustain all of them. It wouldn't be a transit or a complete transition from an F1 game, like we would definitely be staying in the F1 game. We would just have potential iRacing and Assetto Corsa. Oh, that wasn't great from the car's head. Oh well, we get the moves. We get the moves. P8 in the end. We missed out, unfortunately, just on the Williams there. iRacing Go-To's top split's always perfect. Yeah, and I haven't got to that level yet. So, I mean, I've had some really good racing with the rookie stuff. Like I've seen some people that are like my pace, and it's been really awesome. Even if I haven't been able to make the move, it's just the intensity that you get from that. The intensity, and because you know your real name is kind of on the leaderboard. So if you make a mistake, then you're gonna be in a bit of trouble, which is quite annoying. But yeah, only problem is the lag and ghost contacts. Is that for iRacing? I once met Fernando Alonso on the Formula V. That is cool. Formula V is something that that's probably my main preference on iRacing. I don't know what the circuits are this week, but as I said, I'm only in the D class, so I'm a bit too scared to do more races. I literally did races to get out of rookie, and that's it. And then what I do is I just go into practice sessions and just learn the circuits and the cars. That's it. I don't even drive. Yeah, my memory isn't that great to just start learning circuits off the bat and be good to go. So that's kind of why I do that. But oh well. Oh well. It's fun and free. Yeah, it is. It is. Are there more leagues to do around there? Because currently I only do the official ones, but is there a way that you can just join arrive and drive ones? Because if you only do the official one, then you've just got one circuit each week and that's it. And it's kind of frustrating. Because then you're just stuck with it. I mean, you can look at the schedule as well, and there's a few circuits I don't really like, although I've only driven a few. I just know there are a few circuits I didn't really like that much. I don't know enough about the game, but yeah, I got a good deal in June or July, had to take it, and just gonna see how it goes for a year. And in that time, I think we could definitely try and do some sort of league, but the logistics of doing a league on iRacing has definitely got to have a lot of thought. And also, with rules and regulations, that community will have a different kind of idea to Formula One. Also, different cars, of course, require different rules, so it's something that you've got to try and weigh up. And then, of course, cost, because then your entrants will have to start buying cars and buying tracks if you go in certain directions. So that's something that we'd have to look at, really. There is. Okay. Just a few. And you have to buy tracks. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. Because I'm going to be honest, I understand people that don't want to do that. Personally, I don't really want to do it myself anyway. Because then you just start going into a whole rabbit hole of buying circuits, buying cars. I would be very interested in looking at F4 or Super Formula. I think if we did a league, it would probably be in Super Formula. I'll be completely honest. So, that in that regard, we wouldn't have to start buying loads of cars. But if we were to buy cars and it would be Super Formula, we would possibly maybe do leagues on circuits and cars that you don't have to buy and you just get free. With circuits, I don't know how that will work, but we'll have to see. iRacing is fun as hell, but too big to keep on my computer. That's fair enough. A certain course that Evo does have open wheels. Nice. At least I thought about a set of course with open wheels. I think they do. Why else would they have shown it in the trailer? I think they definitely do. It would be disappointing if they didn't. But I just wanted to reiterate that it is important to have them in, because if they don't, then sure. Do people really league race open wheels in that game? Not really. They all kind of do GT and maybe some Le Mans stuff, and yeah, general stuff. But it could be good. And if we were to do that, and if it's you'd have to start buying loads of circuits, and it's kind of you could either get modded or you can go official and buy maybe a few, but you get a load free, then that would be great, Also, with stuff like that, because then obviously server running starts to cost money, which you don't have to do with F1, which is a massive benefit as a league. But if we have to start doing then server running, but also entrants have to start buying cars on tracks, then that kind of affects the calendar, because you then can't do multiple races. So what we did before was 16 races. Now we're doing 12 races with breaks every 3 weeks, or every 3 races. I just need to load the setup because otherwise I'm going to forget. Hold on. Ooh, that's interesting. This is going to be a very interesting one. Yeah, then you have to kind of like balance it out, because then what happens is obviously the cost for us would go up if you start hosting races 3 weeks per month. I always mess that one up. Always break too early. You of course, yeah, you start costing a lot of money per month. But then also, of course, it doesn't really affect entrants unless you charge them. Regarding the amount of races per month, unless of course you're on paid circuits. So calendar-wise, we'd have to look at logistically how that's going to work. How many paid circuits we include in the championship, if we can try and not include one circuits, whether that be on Assetto Corsa or iRacing. More notably on iRacing, I think Assetto Corsa, at least the current one, it's more open. You get more decent circuits, you know, you get Spa for free and stuff like that. There are DLCs, of course, that you can then start looking at buying, but I think you get quite a lot with DLCs that you can get cheaper prices, whether that be cheaper prices just because the game is old, I don't know, but if they kind of keep the current dynamic and you can get multiple tracks and cars in a pack, then it's going to definitely be easier for people, rather than, what is it, like £8.99, which is it like €10 per track or per car, which is crazy. You can obviously get discount bundles and stuff like that, but I mean, it costs money for a reason. It costs that for a reason, which is a good thing. It just does make it very difficult for certain people. If the online is good, there could be open release. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, depending on how the next few months go, I guess, on like advertising, what it looks like, what creators test and kind of showcase on the game, I think that will determine on what we do. I think definitely the price of the base game is probably going to be quite a lot, because it's Assetto Corsa, it's the new one, which is going to be frustrating. We'll just have to see how it goes, really, with that in mind. But then I really do think it would be quite interesting. I think one thing that people underestimate or don't really think about, or just kind of think, oh yeah, it's petty to think about it, but people do, is graphics. You know, the F1 game, it's kind of got a vibe to it. You kind of know the graphics. It feels familiar. But they're also fairly good. You know, they're fairly good. Whereas you go to R Factor 2 especially, iRacing is okay for graphics. But like R Factor 2, it's the open wheel racing on R Factor 2 is brilliant. But the graphics probably aren't as good. Unless you get shaders, it can definitely look really, really nice. But generally, it's not so good. F1 games are usually decent looking. So Assetto Corsa, which is a game that can look very good, if you play it right, if you download the mods in the current game, and could be quite good looking as a base game, I reckon, with the modern one, then that will definitely bring people in, because they don't have to look at like a 2003 looking car, like a 2000s game looking car that you might get in other games. I know that's an exaggeration, but you get what I mean. I think people that are not as serious about things, definitely decide a few things with the graphics and how the game looks, because it also brings in immersion. You don't want to be spending hours and hours on certain games if it doesn't look good. Obviously, oh, sorry, I wrote just the dabble of accent. Obviously, it's not what you really should focus on if you want to do league racing, but it's what people do sometimes focus on. Which people don't really think about directly, but it's just I think an unconscious thing. I'm driving so bad right now. Somehow I'm P5. I'm fighting for P4.
DRS now enabled.
It's like
DRS
defensive, I've run out
enabled.
of battery. Oh,
Okay, clear.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm not going to try and overtake you, it's not fair. If they're going defensive, then that makes it quite frustrating. It's my fault, ultimately. Rare Winter's trying to get through. They've gone off circuit, I'll try and get the better run. But I don't have the battery, Rare Winter's going to zip straight past me in a minute, I reckon. Yeah, I've just bottomed out. I'm just going to have to open up the door. If they want to go for it, they can go for it. I'm just going to let them go. But they can go for the move, whereas I can't, so it's fine. Oh, they've taken Rare Winter out, and I've been absolutely demolished by the Sauber. Ooh. Yeah.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
It's all very interesting with the games, isn't it? Peanuts has arrived to the scene of the crimes that are occurring right now. Let's see if I can maybe start making moves. I've dived my way to the inside of Rare Winter. I've had to lift and lose a lot of momentum, but if I use enough battery and get the DRS and the open line, then I can come around the outside. Unless they're just going to move across, then oh well. It's frustrating. That's something that you do get in F1. You get that in racing in general, but this is a 5-lapper, so it's going to happen. Peanuts being a Chad and slowing down to race. Lap 3 out of 5, sacrificing entertainment. Or sacrificing results for entertainment. We're going to get a phenomenal battle here as I go for a late defensive throw. I brake as late as I can, but Peanuts has absolutely cooked me. And they've got double DRS. Detection zone, I mean, not in technical terms. Peanuts doing a phenomenal job learning no line right now. Being a bit of an inspiration to myself. Coming off a break week from the F1 tier now, going to Austria tomorrow, if they are racing, of course that is. Why am I braking? Again, messing that corner up big time. Can I make moves? I don't think they're going to be close enough. Oh my days. I'm sorry to the Sauber, but that's not the braking point. Oi! I'm not trying to go for the move, I'm just being a bit of a bottle job, to be honest. Can I go for the move here? They can only defend one car. Oh! I've got a car to my outside. I've had to cut one of them off. I broke as late as I can. They're just going to send me off again. The second time I've been taken out this race. Where's Peanuts?
Green flag.
Oh. F1, F1. The joys of the F1 game. No, I don't have DRS, which is difficult. Oh, I do, apparently. I'll take that. Peanuts is slowing down to allow us to catch up. We're going to turn the battery off. We're still going to throw it up the inside there. We're absolute mad lad. We've got the Haas on the way. Oh no, it's going to go horribly. Oh, and we've been taken out by the Haas for the 7th time this race. Oh, I looked to the inside and I backed out. I pussied out. Can't believe it. I bottled it. That was purely on me this time. Can I stay ahead? I've got DRS. I've got barely any ERS. I do score P9. P8 actually, with time penalties. I can't believe I just bottled that there at the final moment. I broke too late. I was switching lines because I thought Peanuts would move to the outside under braking, and I was like, oh, I can sneak up the inside, but they didn't. They held their line, which is very good. And they cooked me. They cooked me. Somehow I got driver of the day after that performance. I don't know what to say. That was horror. Horror, horror. Right, final race coming up. I've forgotten which circuit I put it to. But hopefully it's a good one. What circuit was I saying it would go to at the end of the race? Monza, which is always crazy for lobbies, but it should be still quite fun. I think it's fair to say that Igor will have won the championship probably already, because they've won quite a few races. I don't know how it will look for the teams. It's probably Ferrari, since Igor is obviously the main scorer. Taking a lot of points, which is always good. Right, now we'll see. There we go. Lovely. Let's move on to the next race. I do apologise if I took out Rare Winter that race. I think I may have done. I was going a bit mad. With the send on the inside of, what is that, turn 7? I think. I might have got that wrong. Right. Final race. Let's make it a good one. And the next live stream will be tomorrow. And then we've still got a few weeks until we go to the next F1 watch along, which is a while away. Alright. Let's see, what car can we go in at the end? I was gonna say Williams, but yeah, I don't. There's not gonna be space. Peanuts has been loyal to me for the last 2 races. We'll stay put. We'll stay put. We'll tank this. I mean, there's 21 people in the lobby. There is no seats free right now. It's crazy. Monza, it's gonna be an absolute nightmare. But bring it on. Bring it on, to be honest. I am tired. I'm ready for this final race. Final drink before we go. Just waiting for a few more to ready up. And hopefully we're good. I'm just having a look at the rest of the grid to see what everyone's doing. You wanted me to go on the outside? I realised that when I was kind of alongside you and travelling 20 kph too fast, heading towards the grass. It's not your fault at all. It's my fault. I just misread it. I just assumed you would do something, got it wrong, and yeah, the game is the game. You did a very good job. You're driving well. Right. We'll see what we can do here. Once again, we'll try and start last. I need to make sure I do invalidate somewhere. Not like Canada, where I have to drive off the circuit. It is Monza, of course, so it's always going to be very crazy into the first few corners. We just have to keep alert and hope that the cars ahead ghost if they are in the way. But I will probably assume that they're not going to ghost, because that's the way it goes typically. When you want them to ghost, they don't ghost. When you don't want them to ghost, or don't need them to ghost, they will ghost. That's the way it goes around the F1 game. With ghosting, believe it or not. Right, let's see. I didn't check the weather, so it might be wet. But we'll give it a shot. Here we go. Once again in the Red Bull. If I'm Monza now. DRS late on, which can always mess people up with one-shot qualies. Broke way too late. Still made the corner, but lost a load of time. ERS is very much screwed around the circuit with one-shot quali as well. Very annoying to drive with. Whoa, that's the invalidation done. I'll quickly do something actually. I'm just gonna do that. I know I invalidated, but yeah, I want to quickly do this. Right, anyway. We'll just have to start slightly not last, to be honest. Because we retire, of course, instead of DSQ. Which does mean that we will finish the session regardless ahead of any DSQ cars. But hopefully, and it looks like not that many people actually DSQ'd. So that is Igor on pole. Peanuts in P3, as myself and Roy Winter are at the very back of the pack, almost right at the back. And we'll see how many moves we can make as best as we can. Right. Let's go there. Just waiting for the final loaders. There's probably going to be another loading screen. There will be another loading screen as people apply their setups, etc. But this is one of the final ones before we go into the race for the final time. Alright, it's dry. We're good. I'm just going to double check something. I want to try... Oh, that's not good. I want to try this. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Right. Good luck everyone. The final race of the evening is on its way. The Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Turn 1 and Turn 2 are coming up. Here we go. I'm going to be completely honest, I almost jumped the start. This is gonna be... Oh... As everyone just kind of brakes so hard. Oh, I've been sandwiched. I was in third gear. Going that slow, that was very silly of me. I've definitely caused some problems. Well, there went his down. Peanuts are slowed down. We're now going to be side by side. I can't really slow down because we've got so many cars just ploughing through. What is the Mercedes doing? Try and give the Sauber a boost. As I really pinched the Aston to the inside right there. Messed them up a bit. Ultimately made the move, get the better run. Make the move on the Sauber. Try and stay ahead of Peanuts for now. We are friends, we do want to race each other nicely. But we also want to beat each other, and this is my best chance to be ahead of Peanuts early on. Almost got absolutely wiped out by the Aston. The McLaren moves out the way nicely for us, which we appreciate massively. Peanuts is following closely though, like a shark.
We can now use DRS. DRS now available.
Ready to hunt its prey. We're going to save some ERS into the first corner here. Thought I broke late, but I actually had a lot of braking performance. A light car. And a lot of grip. Side by side, it looks like, with Peanuts, now with an Aston,
clear.
as they didn't get past the McLaren. And we're going to turn the battery off because we're a bit too close to the cars ahead. Turn it back on to try and get the better exit if we can. Carry a lot of minimum speed on the throttle. Didn't get the DRS on, unfortunately. We're going to try and clear the car, which we do. They're going to try and send it back on the inside. They've just cut the corner. And, yep. I broke late in fairness, so, you know, they may have made it, but oh well. Peanuts is now catching up, so we've got to try and make use of everything whilst we can. We're very close behind the Williams. I wanted to tuck in this slipstream. Just going to use some energy now, see if we can boost ahead. I was braking so late there to try and get out the way and not be smashed into the back of her. That's why I did it. I wasn't in trust of Danny. Unfortunately, I do apologise. And once again, I'm fairly close to these cars, so I can turn the battery off because I'm not going to risk losing DRS. I'm not going to be able to fight with the top two because they're miles away. The P3 is currently my best result possible right now. Just need to make sure I don't get any warnings because the other cars might get some. Car ahead, of course, does have a time penalty. This is the Haas from the Australia race that we just completed. Almost taken out the Ferrari. We'll swoop through with DRS. Did have the battery turned off, unfortunately, right there, but they've turned the battery off down the straight. Whether that be intentional or purely not having any left. They're going to go on the defensive. And we're just going to brake. Oh, we've been tapped. I swear we've been tapped. I know I make a lot of mistakes. And nice one from the Williams.
Green flag.
I know I make a lot of mistakes, but I'm pretty confident that I didn't miss my braking point now. That being said, I've just gone an absolutely disaster class with it. I rejoin in the path of Peanuts. He tries to get to space. And now we're going to have to try and work together with the Red Bull to catch up to the cars ahead. We've got a 5 second for either a yellow flag overtake or a severe collision. I'm going to assume that's not legit because it's a 5-lapper and it's always crazy. But we will catch up to the cars ahead. I can't believe I bottled it, to be honest. But, yeah, I'm not in a position to really overtake Peanuts, so I do apologise. That was very, very tight, and I'm sorry for misjudging that. The Ferrari makes a mistake. They've got a time penalty anyway, so does the Haas. They're just taking Peanuts out right now. I'm going to go to the inside line. Just going to push them off the circuit, to be honest. They're going to drive like they are. And try and stay ahead. Obviously Peanuts is going to get DRS. As long as they don't lose the car, they'll be able to get a good tow. We've not got long for them to try and gain 3 seconds on the car behind. This is going to be virtually impossible. I've just ridden the curb and lost all my momentum. I've got ERS to use, which is a big benefit. Hopefully the Haas doesn't do one final send and ruin it for everyone. And actually the McLaren gave up. 12 seconds behind Igor in the end. We won't get the position, which is a shame. But we gave it a good shot. Peanuts will unfortunately miss out on the P4. But they deserved a lot more. I think if they didn't have that time penalty, they could have probably done a lot better. But yeah, unfortunately the Haas and the other Ferrari were driving interestingly. I was probably driving just as interestingly, to be honest. I was making diabolical mistakes left, right and centre. But at least I wasn't intentionally causing any collisions. I mean, of course, when we got to this chicane on the last lap, I knew the car was going to turn in on me, so I just kind of drove through them. But, you know, the game's the game. I think they would have gone off circuit anyway, because they got contact and kind of bounced off my car, so don't think it would have made a difference. Leveling up a lot in this game, which is pretty crazy, but better than before. Still a bit too much, maybe. Igor takes the win, 128 points. Did they win every race? That's absolutely incredible. I haven't seen 128 points in a while, if at all. But 45 points for me. Peanuts got to 26 in the end. Rare Winter 43, very close between me and Rare Winter right there. And Ferrari definitely going to be taking the win right there with Igor cooking. 164, so actually Igor scored so many more points. I say, yeah, well, scored so many more points for Ferrari. Sure, P3 is in a Ferrari, but oh wait, no, is that combined? That is correct, no? 164. Ignore me then. Ignore me. I'm being an absolute melon. Anyway, that's been it. Igor wins both the championships right there. We gave it our best shot, didn't quite get there in the end. But that has been the Lobbies, and it's been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow for the Austrian Grand Prix, and of course Saturday as well. Just wanted to have a sick fight with you now. Yeah, why are people so bad? They are. It's annoying. You just got to go in private 5-lappers, to be honest. I had some good races with Terence and another guy last week, which was really fun. You know, if one car loses traction or loses a car, then everyone slows down, unless they're going for a fastest lap attempt, of course. But everyone slows down, then you just continue racing. And you know you can trust the other guys because they are league racers. So, but yeah, it's the way it goes. It's more... For me, I try and use it as reaction time training. As you can probably tell if you ever watch my driving, my reaction times are incredibly abysmal. But yeah, what can you do? It's the way it goes. I try and improve it. but it's still not the best around, unfortunately. I'm going to do this, and hopefully that was all good. I'm also then going to double check. What? Huh? Okay, just to explain what's happened here, I've just recorded that race through my PC because I was thinking, okay, if I just hypothetically tomorrow, if I'm to record the race while I live stream it, can I then re-upload it and it'll be nice and high quality? I was on 177 gigabytes free storage. I recorded that race, which is about 10 minutes, more or less. And I've ended up on 181 gigabytes. How does that work? How did I gain storage from recording a video? Huh? I don't know. I am mind-boggled. Right, anyway, thank you very much everyone for watching. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for the chats. It's been very interesting. For sure, I can't wait for those things that we talked about to either come around or maybe flop. We'll see. But yeah, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow for the Austrian Grand Prix for a sprint race. One-shot quali is going to be very intense with 80-minute quali for the main race. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I cannot wait. Thank you very much, Peanuts. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you're racing. Thank you very much, Eagle. Even though they're probably not watching, they did a phenomenal job today with scoring all those points. Thank you very much for Jean. Even though they're probably not here, it's been a pleasure. And thank you very much to Ninepix for joining for the first time on the live stream. Anyway, I will stop yapping and I will start not napping because I'm not going to go to sleep for a while. Anyway, I'll stop talking. Bye bye. Good night, Gigi.